Hello and welcome back. This is Joanna the Medium, and these are going to be readings for the month of October 2016. First and foremost, thank you so much for watching, liking, subscribing, and sharing. I have had an incredible amount of comments and emails, which I read every single one, and they make me very happy. So thank you so much for doing this. Just like last month, these readings for the month of October are divided into two parts almost. The first part is a channeled message, and the second part is cards, which often correspond to the message that was channeled, but also offer a little bit more detail with regards to what may be happening in your life. These are general readings, so if one sign does not make sense to you, read your other signs, as in your moon sign or rising signs, for these may offer a greater picture to what is happening. I have also received a lot of information or a lot of feedback from you saying that when you listen to the reading at the beginning of the month, it doesn't really make sense, and it probably wouldn't. But when you listen to it again towards the end of the month, it makes perfect sense to you. So I would encourage you to do that. I do that with myself when I watch readings, because when a month starts, we are not privy to what is going to be happening. So October is a month that is interesting, to say the least. I do have yet another new energy that I'm working with, and he has been providing a lot of information regarding the month of October and the months beyond. So I won't spoil the surprise for you, but it is reflected in each and every sign. There are some of you who have asked who he is. He is a male energy that I work with, and it is basically an energy or entity or being that basically tells me what to tell you. Even when it is with cards, he tells me what the message is for you. Of course, if you would like a private session, I would be delighted to do so for you. You can reach me at the information below, or you can go to my website, joannathemedium.com. I have also included links for you down below to my website as well as to my booking page, so you can go directly and book your own session that way. And I think that is everything that I have to say for you. If you feel inspired to write a comment or message me, I would, as always, love to read it, and I read them all. So without further ado, let's go with the reading, and I will see you again soon. Thank you. Hello and welcome back. This is going to be a reading for the sign of Sagittarius, sun sign, moon sign, and rising sign. I do have 3 cards face down for the later part of the message. I will connect with Spirit and see what channeled messages we will start off with. I do have to say that it seems like the month of October is going to be rather a transitional month for many. This is 3rd or 4th reading in a row where I feel, and I'm being shown, that it's going to feel a bit chaotic and transitional. When I ask what is the first thing that you need to know, I'm being asked to say that as much as you're going to hate hearing it, please have patience in the month of October. It's going to feel, for some of you, most of you, like the month is dragging along and it feels like it's never ending. Some of those feelings were pertain to a job situation where there is a transition happening with your work, and some of these will feel pertaining to family, where things are coming apart, moving apart, or things are ending. I'm being told that this is a transitional time for many. Not just the sign of Sagittarius, but many people on this planet. And he's saying to me, and this is very new information to me, plus please keep in mind, I know nothing about astrology, but he's saying to me it has something to do with planets orbiting, or the Earth, the planets that are orbiting the Earth. So planetary, something to do with planetary changes. And I actually don't know what that means. I've never heard of it. I don't know what is happening now with planetary changes. So if you do, please enlighten me, because this information means nothing to me. He's also saying to me, it is why there is volatility in the world, and there will be more of it going forward up until and past December. He's showing me volcanoes erupting, and he's not showing me where. He's also showing me riots, okay? And I'm going to try not to go into it, because this is supposed to be a reading for Sagittarius, not for the global population. But he's asking me to please move on with this, because there is something in this for you. So the reason why things are going to feel chaotic is because there is changes on a planetary level, whatever that means. He's saying things are being aligned and realigned in order for, I guess, our planet to move. I don't know if it's in a different direction, but it's not a physical direction. It is direction to do with humanity. And I feel kind of uncomfortable saying this, because this is not kind of the messages that I give. I kind of shy away from, the global type, this is going to happen on a global scale, because that's not really me. But he's saying, please continue. What you're seeing right now on a global scale and in your world is time of change, and these changes are significant. And he's connecting the global changes to your particular single changes, or your particular changes, personal changes, because it is an effect, or it is an after effect of what is happening. It's almost like a trickle down effect. Thank you. That's the word I want to use. And I'm actually asking him to kind of not go on with this, because I want to give you something a little bit more personal. Okay, so I'm going to move forward on with this. If it feels like your world is falling apart, please know that it is not falling apart. It is just that you're going through a transition time. And he's saying it has to do with the global scale, but I asked him to stay focused. But that's what he's connecting this to. Please do not have fears and concerns about what's after, or what the future will hold for you. A lot of these transitions will feel like you are losing something. But he's saying the loss that you will feel will actually be replaced with something much more meaningful and something much more positive, both symbolically and personally or physically. The changes that you are looking for are happening, but they're happening a little bit slower than you would like. And I guess that's why he was saying, have patience. And then I hear the words, the Rome was not built in a day. We know that. He says, when you look in the mirror, what do you see? Do you see the person that is happy, or do you see a person that is sad? The reason why you are moving forward, or you are going through transitions, is because you are not seeing the person, you're not seeing the reflection in the mirror that you want to see. You're seeing something other than what you would like to see. And that's why you're going through the transition. So this is a bit metaphorical, but you understand what's being asked or said here. Have faith and have hope that everything is going to come and change for the better. This is very important. And he's showing me a vision, a metaphor. Fishing. Somebody is fishing, and they're patiently waiting for the fish to bite. And he says, you cannot rush that process. That process is an organic process that happens in its own time when the fish decides to bite. So the changes that you are looking for will take place in due time, but you do have to be patient. Otherwise, you will not get the fish that you are looking for, or the prize at the end of the day. He says, I know it's been a long time, and I know you've tried very hard, and it may seem like endings is not in sight, but please be assured ending is in sight, and it is imminent, and it is a positive ending. It's just that you cannot see it yet, because it's almost like you're standing and there's a wall in front of you, and you cannot see what's behind this wall. Now, I'm asking him to give me some indication what this is connecting to or relating. He says circumstances in life. And again, that's very general. Moving on from that which no longer serves you. So this message will connect to any part of your life that is not serving you. So yes, it will connect to jobs, it will connect to relationships, it will connect to friendships, it will connect to health matters, absolutely. You are being asked to have patience in whatever it is that you're working with or working through as a result of moving from something that is no longer serving you. And again, he goes back to the whole world idea of humanity is slowly moving in that direction. But it's a slow and sometimes a very mundane process. And oftentimes it may feel like it's never ending, but the move is in fact happening. And then he says, the world or the planet Earth moves, yet we cannot see it. But we know it's happening, so it is factual that the planet is moving. So bottom line, have patience. Not everything happens in one day, as we all know. But not everything takes lifetimes. So whoever you are in the midst of change. Call it change, call it transition. It'll be interesting to see what the cards say. This is for the most part a very good transition and a very positive one. I also feel like you are feeling uprooted or you are being uprooted. A situation, you're moving on from a situation and you feel uprooted. For some of you, you're moving homes, and that message went to another sign as well. There's a lot of changes. There's a lot of pieces moving. There's a lot of moving pieces in October. And it is going to feel, October is going to feel a bit chaotic. I feel that. And it's to do with the shifts of energies. So I'm going to stop here because I could go on forever. And eventually it starts making no sense. But I want to start off with the card. So the first card is the card that symbolizes your past, or what was on your mind. And we have the card Crown Chakra. So this is the energy center right here. I don't often get these cards. Number 7. And I'm going to ask him what this means. He says to me, these changes that you are going through were and are divinely ordered. Because you opened yourself up to possibilities of something greater, and because you allowed yourself to trust the process, or at least open up to the trust, to having trust in the process, it is why the situation is now occurring. So you are in the midst of change because you've opened yourself up to something greater. So it is it's like you started to manifest this. Whatever you're manifesting is in a process of happening. It hasn't happened yet. The full effect hasn't happened yet, but you're the one who started the process by opening yourself up to some possibility of something greater. And he's saying this to signify just how much power we have without even consciously being aware of it. And then he's asking me to move on to the next card. So the next card represents your situation now, or the challenge. And we have the card called the Firm Foundation. So this is very much an earth card. It's a pentacle card in traditional tarot deck. 4 is number of stability, but it's the beginning of stability. The card was shown to me in reverse. So right now as we speak, you are feeling that the foundation underneath you is not firm, or it's moving, which is what he was referring to earlier. And if it feels like pieces are moving and it feels chaotic, that's why. That's what this card is saying. It is basically confirming what the message said earlier. You are in a process of moving. This isn't stagnation. This is a movement. When we move and when we change, there is a period where the reshuffling times feel very awkward. And the reason why they feel awkward is because we're leaving something we've known and we're going into something that we don't know. We haven't gotten there yet. We're in a process. We're in an in-between process. And that's why it feels chaotic and awkward. He says this will end. By the time end of November approaches, you will feel and will be in a much better place physically and emotionally. So have faith. That's really important. Also, remember to stay true to yourself. That's what I heard, and I'm being asked to say this to you. Not everyone understands what you are wanting to accomplish and where you're going. Not everyone understands or wants to understand your reasoning behind it, and things may not make sense to them. The number one responsibility you have to yourself, not to others. So be true to yourself and listen to your intuition. Also, whatever the process you're going through or whatever changes you are going through, there are some people that do not agree with your choices. To them, you are acting foolish or you are acting immature. You do not have the responsibility to them, or you do not own them an explanation. If they don't see things your way, that's okay. That's their free will. That does not, however, mean that you are not on the right track or on the right path. For those who are open to greater possibilities, things appear in a way that doesn't make sense to others. So if you are someone who was guided intuitively to make changes, and you opened yourself up to possible changes, you may be leaving situations that other people may feel you are being foolish leaving. That's okay. Intuitively, you know what the right thing is for you. So bottom line is, have faith in your intuition, have faith in your process, and stay true to yourself. Very important. And you will understand why he says down the road. Okay? The next card is a card of advice or possible future. And we have the card Movement, Choices, and Decisions. So this is upright card, which is good. Movement, Choices, and Decisions, that's very self-explanatory. This is a card of Pentacles. And you will have some decisions to make. Not right now, because you're in the process of moving and transitioning, so things may not feel clear to you. But you will have decisions to make. You will have choices that will be presented to you. And you will be contemplating which decisions and which choices to make. All these doors here represent different aspects of life. Spirituality, emotions, this is relationships or jobs, this is money. These doors, you are standing in front of these doors, or you will be standing in front of these doors, and you will be in a position to choose and decide what is right for you. He says, ask yourself, what do I want? What is the most important aspect for me for the next phase of my journey or where I'm going? Look at your past and look what you had, and ask yourself, based on where I'm coming from, what do I truly want now? What do I want to accomplish? Because I feel you will have opportunities in front of you that may confuse you, or you may not know which way to go, which door to open, or which way to choose, or what to choose. And he says, if you allow yourself to go deep within and ask yourself one simple question, what do I want? And you could say money, you could say relationship, but go deeper. What do I want? What do I want to feel? How do I want to feel? Do I want to feel content? Do I want to feel peaceful? Do I want to feel relaxed? How do I want to feel? And then decide based on what that decision, what the feeling is for you, which decision is going to most accurately align with the feeling you're looking for. He says your answers are always within. It's just we go to our head too often and we're swayed by our fears and our egos. Now, ego is not a bad thing. Ego is necessary for us to survive. But ego, for the most part, is based on fear. It wants things in order to feel good and in order to impress. When you go deep within, you're listening to your intuition. That's a very different mechanism. Your intuition is a much deeper aspect of you, and it's much more aligned with your soul than your ego ever will be. Having a good balance of both is actually what would be the ideal combination of both in a nice balance. He says, allow yourself to relax first before you make the next big decision or decisions. For some of you, this is going to be a decision regarding a commitment. And I feel that you will be presented with an opportunity for a love relationship. And then I hear the words, be careful what you ask for. And when I ask him to explain this to me, he's saying to me, rather than thinking with your head, think with your intuition or align with your intuition. Your intuition is a much quieter voice than your thoughts and your fears. Your intuition is very subtle. And he says, be careful what you ask for, because there's a possibility you're going to end up in exactly the same situation where you're coming from or where you're leaving. So I don't want to call it a test, but it's definitely something that's going to be presented to you that's going to require you to stand back, relax, and allow your intuition to guide you. And I feel you'll be confused. Not in a bad way, but I feel like you're not going to know where to go. And you're going to be going between head, heart. And he just says, just allow yourself to listen to your intuition. You know what the answer is. Also, don't be swayed by what people say. And I'm going to leave that for you too, for interpretation. So keep in mind that this is advice, but it's also a component of future of what's going to happen. So you don't know what that is yet because it hasn't happened. So take this as a word of advice. He says, all I want to say is that they're in good hands now. You're on the right path. Whoever you are on the right path. He's showing me the number 9, so you've ended something. Something ended for you. You ended something. You are ending the process of ending something. And then I heard relationship. So for some of you, this is going to be about a relationship. Allow yourself to breathe first before you make another commitment. So if you are moving away from a relationship, give yourself some time to think. Give yourself some time to evaluate and reevaluate and think about what was and see if you can come up with some kind of conclusions about aspects of yourself that you haven't thought of before. There's a need for contemplation. There's a real need for contemplation before you make the next jump to either a new relationship, new project, or whatever it is. And I need to take a quiet moment to go within. And then he says, endings aren't bad. Endings are just that. They're endings. Each ending is followed by a new beginning. Look at it from that perspective. And I feel that's all I have. I hope this makes sense to you. The readings for October are definitely different. They're very movable. They're very transitional. And I actually feel that way energetically. So, and again, he says it's something to do with the planet changes. So I hope this makes sense. I always do. If it doesn't make sense, look at your other signs and hopefully these will shed more light for you. Of course, I would love to hear your comments if you feel inspired to do so. And I look forward to reading for you again in November. I wish you best of luck in the month of October. And if you would like a private reading, the information is provided for you down below. The contact link is there, as well as my booking link is there, so you can book your own session, reading or coaching session as you see fit. Until the month of November, I wish you best of luck. Stay true to yourself, and I will see you again soon.